This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Mike Haskell. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Greetings and felicitations.
I washed my skin recently.
That's not what you said the first time.
That's not how you said it.
You cleaned your skin, or you said you cleaned this skin the other day. It was a whole thing. That's what you said.
It was the whole thing. And I said, Rob, we always clean our skin, usually every day. You were like, oh, that's bizarre.
Huh.
It's in the pregame. It was good enough of a bit that Haspel pulled out his Grail book from his jacket pocket and wrote it in there for a future one-liner.
That was taken out of context.
No, as are all of the best jokes of all time.
It's true. It's all true.
Yeah, like every time for the whole time we do this podcast that we bring up floor salad, we never provide context.
No.
We're just
I
like
was there for the floor salad. That was
those
a long
days.
time ago.
mm-hmm.
That was almost 10 years ago.
Or bathtub burger. Bathtub burger. I think that was the same weekend, actually.
Yeah, it was a low point for you.
You could argue maybe the high point.
Wyatt hitting us with a remote. Would you rather?
I read this one the other day. I saw this. It's would you rather find 1 million roaches in your attic or like a dude? Like he says a naked man, but like would you rather find a human living in your attic or 1 million roaches living in your attic?
We need to I have questions.
I asked my lady and she just doesn't even care. She's like, the dude, 100%,
Yeah,
guy.
the guy. Yeah. I would rather find one
I was like, but the
naked-
guy could, I don't care. The guy.
I feel like I could handle one naked man. I don't think I could handle 1 million roaches.
How could even they all fit up there? That's a lot. That's a lot of roaches.
That's genie bullshit, dude.
It is. It's genius.
Yeah.
Magic roaches.
Only a psychopath would pick the fucking roaches. Like, this is a good it's a good psychopath test. What's the test in Blade Runner for determining if you have empathy?
So
The Voight-Kampf test.
yeah, boy, yeah.
Yeah. This is now a question on that test.
Yeah. I want you to tell me in only good words every memory you think about your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And would you rather?
Would you rather find 1 million roaches in your attic or one naked man?
A million roaches? This guy's definitely an android.
Yeah.
I would like to know if we're talking American roaches or German roaches.
German roaches, the worst kind.
Yeah, the absolute. Yeah, they don't just appear. Like you got to bring them in. They're like vampires.
Yeah, they're a menace.
Mm-hmm.
They breed like thousands at a time.
Yeah, they're a problem. They're a huge problem.
Nice. Wyatt coming in clutch with interlinked.
Yeah.
But you can eat roaches. Well, technically, you could eat a guy too.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is true. Not if he's tattooed; it'll taste bad.
there you go.
That's
That, and Rob would know.
I feel like you need to pull your book out again and write that one down.
I think you're right.
That's what Jeffrey Dahmer said. I'm just quoting him.
How do you just quote him at the top of your head like that?
Because he said it. What? You didn't follow all that? That was like a nationwide spectacle.
I mean, I wasn't like really actively following the news when that was relevant. You know, like I was probably watching cartoons and shit.
Oh.
I'm not an immortal lizard man.
Sometimes you just gotta stop and smell the roses.
Spoken like a fucking old person.
You guys are putting a lot of words, a lot of context on things tonight.
Yeah, you accused us of never using context, and now we're gonna overly context everything. I believe the word for that is I'm gonna contextualize as much as I can. Oh, also I got accused of swearing too much today.
Oh.
What did you do today? Just today?
Yeah, I put out a reel and
Oh.
you know, just me talking, so a lot of swear words for sure.
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
And you know, it was a bit, and it was good. It was a good reel. It's one of the first comments was the guy who was like, "Yeah, you know, you could have said all that without cursing so much." It was like well said. It was good.
And
it was well
if
said.
my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle.
Yeah. He was like, you know, he's like, I used to swear like you. You used to hold me back at work, and then one day I just stopped, and you know, And then my life got better. The first comment to that guy's comment was like, fuck that.
There it is.
Uh,
I was like, I didn't have to say
Boom.
anything. So I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to use better words.
yeah, that's probably good. Good
Have
to
you
know.
watched a Gary Vaynerchuk like video?
I don't know who that is, man.
Like,
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Jeffrey Dahmer's brother. I don't know,
really? Like really?
bro. I don't know stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm old now. You millennials and Gen Z, I don't keep up with you guys.
I identify as Gen Z.
Hmm
You're allowed
It's
to.
almost time for Rob to cash in his new identity
Oh yeah,
and,
like
and roll over
yeah. He's got to
his-
roll over,
his
move,
grandson.
go back
you
to
know?
high school.
Yeah, I'm Rob's grandson.
Yep. As Wyatt said, biggest news of the week is King of the Hill after 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm excited for
Yeah.
that. I'm truly
And it's got
excited.
Circle K in it.
Makes sense. I
I'm
am
sure
truly
Haspel has
excited.
some commentary about how they're bringing back all the old things.
They never left. Our
Yes.
society. There's a line in the Matrix
Yep.
where Agent Smith is talking to Neo, and he says, that he's talking about how they created the society or the Matrix to
That was the
reflect
peak.
the peak
99.
of our society.
Yep.
And he's like, because after that, really became our civilization or our society or something along those lines. And it's like, yeah, that things have not evolved. Look at everything in the movies are still all the same shit we were doing in the 90s. The style, if I show you pictures from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, you can pick out what decade it is just by looking at it. If I show you 2010 and 1995, you can't tell the difference.
Well said.
Everything stopped in the 90s. That's when the simulation fucking just like maxed out on its memory.
Yeah.
Maxed out on
And
RAM.
it's funny because everybody was like, ooh, that comment isn't gonna age well. At the time, we're like, no way.
Yeah. Did you not see this iPad Mini or what is it? iTunes. What's the fucking ear one? The one you listen to?
Pod?
AirPod Mini.
AirPod. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get there together.
Yeah. Like, do you not see? It's got 400 megabytes of fucking memory in it, dog.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is the future, son. Damn, I couldn't even remember what that thing was called.
Dude, it all sounds the same. AirPod. iPod.
AirPod.
I
Everything's
was calling them
stagnant.
iPods for forever, and people were like, "What's an iPod?" And I was
Oh,
like, "Yeah,
iPod.
good point."
Yeah. Then I
Yeah.
went to like Best Buy and bought like the Microsoft one.
A Zune.
Thank you, the Zune. Yeah, but I had to use like a fucking CD, an app.
It was a
all
whole
the-
thing.
I was like,
that
this. I was like,
did not catch on.
I wanted this to be like the dope shit. And I was like, this is not the dope shit.
Not even close.
This is. I was like, I immediately regret this purchase.
Yeah, Gnarl09 says I think things more stopped in 2005. I'm like, yeah, but it was right around that, right around the turn of the century.
Huh. I wonder what came out in 2005.
And our folks that are, from the 1900s like us, we saw it all happen.
Is that when the BlackBerry hit, or the BlackBerry hit a little after that?
I don't know.
No,
I think,
basically,
there were Blackberries before in the 90s.
Facebook hit on college, and then 2 years later, everybody could get it.
Oh,
and that was it.
So we were doing MySpace in 2004.
Basically, yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense. All right, Rob, you want to do some news, and then we can get.
Man, I can, sure. Yeah, let's do some news.
Let's fucking
All
do
right.
this thing.
What we got? So, Matt Ward's back. He's working for Games Workshop. Nope, I'm lying. Totally not true.
Too bad. We might have had a good Grey Knight Codex.
Dude,
It would have been nonsense, but it would have been awesome.
I thought that was when I saw that they actually said what the Terminus Decree was, and it makes no actual sense.
It's all lies.
And I was just like, I saw it and I thought it was fake. And I was like, and I actually looked through the Grey Knights Codex and I saw it and I was like, well, that's burying the lead right there. Why'd they do that? And I would say it's probably the same reason they don't put author names on this stuff anymore, because people will literally get, and why the CEO of Games Workshop does not have an online presence and refuses to be photographed. Because
what are you talking about? He does Christmas videos like every year. I see that dude. His name's James Workshop.
You're right. Same guy.
It's the same guy.
It's
Why would
just-
they? Why would they lie to us?
It's almost like it's all on purpose.
Is the CEO GW secretly AI?
Could be. We haven't seen him and James Workshop in the same room together. Speaking of which, Games Workshop actually crossed over a threshold this week. They crossed into the top 50 of licensing brands in the world. So think about that.
Wow.
When you put it into perspective,
That's wild.
you're
That's
talking
insane.
Hasbro, you're talking, Lord of the Rings, you're talking, gosh, I don't even know where Star Wars.
Bro, I was just watching a short on YouTube the other day, today, and it was like Hathor Bjornsson standing next to some other dude who's not a strong man, but he's like built like a strong man. He's getting famous for being a fitness influencer, and he's like even taller than Hathor Bjornsson
Huh.
by like a foot.
Wow.
So the mountain, it looks small next to this other guy. And then like I'm like, damn, this is crazy. And then I'm like reading the comments, and there's like dozens of 40K references of like
Oh yeah.
Firstborn and a Primaris and stuff like that.
Yeah. People know, like the mainstream
Mhm.
folks know.
I would have
like,
never expected to see that comment.
If you
though.
say like blood for the blood god, they
Yeah.
know that's 40K. They know.
Mhm.
Yep.
You accuse people of heresy, they
Yeah.
know. They know what's up.
Top
or praise
50.
the machine god or anything like that.
See, now we've lived so long that now people are going to be all in our brand, and we're going to be like, I've always been in this brand. And then we're going to be those, okay, grandpa.
Yeah. There once was a magazine where I could order metal bits out of. Okay, let's get you your meds, Mr. Haspel.
And then they replaced the editor with AI, which, by the way, Games Workshop does use in Warhammer community, and also even their images now, their stock images are AI generated in some cases, and
yeah.
and the only reason I know this is because we use AI on a daily basis as well, and I can see the telltale signs of poorly edited and regurgitated AI, and also images that probably shouldn't have made it out that have the hallmarks of AI editing / generation in them. And I just look at them and I'm like, yep, that makes sense. And then when you're like, oh, you're laying off the White Dwarf editor, you're not going to have an editor anymore for a magazine, like.
Yeah, well, they're just following suit. I mean, everyone's doing it. I fully expect not to have a job in 5 years. Like, and not because I don't want to work or not because there's going to be some jobs program. It's just literally I'll be like, I'm a writer, and they'll just be like, get out, you obsolete hack.
Well, we're not there yet, so today is not that day. What else we got? So yeah, they crossed over that threshold. This week's releases are Salamanders and Votan. Votan looked like to have a bumper crop of really cool looking releases. Hopefully that'll advance that whole faction, because I mean, in a lot of ways, that kind of came out towards the tail end of last edition, and kind of them and World Eaters, and didn't really get a fair shake at 9th, and then in 10th they just had the index treatment for like 2 years, and it kind of hasn't been fair to those players, to be honest with you. But now they're getting a whole new reboot, which looks to be very favorable. Definitely not getting the Grey Knights treatment. And Salamanders, that combat patrol is stacked value wise. And I also wanted to mention too, those 5 combat patrols that are coming out. First of all, the combat patrol for Space Marines, that is basically the Space Marine half of Leviathan minus I think the Dreadnought and 2 other things, is straight garbo. Like, you can still find Leviathans. You might as well just buy a box of Leviathan at that point, or buy the half off eBay. It's much cheaper. But none of these, except for the White Scars one, which will have somebody in it that's definitely dedicated towards White Scars. None of these are dialed in and like locked to any specific chapter. So you can mix and match these. Even the Dark Angels one isn't locked into a chapter. The Blood Angels one is, because it does come with the Sanguinary Guard. But you can basically take those 6 combat patrols and mix and match them to just get extra units that will save you some money, of course. Speaking of which, too, Games Workshop said in their financial report that dropped last Tuesday, and I think I mentioned this too, that there will be continued price increases, at least 5%, on the horizon. Now, whether that means basically they have from now until June of next year. So at some point, we're going to definitely see another at least 5% increase.
So you got to invest now.
Right. You have to spend money to
make
save
money.
money.
As Rob has always famously said.
Right.
I mean, as a matter of fact, I bought my first box of modern 40K stuff in years.
I saw you had some Space Wolvesies.
Yeah, I went to play. Dude, check this name of this game store out. I went. So this game store is like on the far side of Orlando. It's called Haven of Gamers.
Okay.
Haspel, isn't that wild? And I kept saying Gamers Haven over and over again. And yeah, it's a nice little game store out in outskirts of Orlando. And walked in because I did a bunch of online polls on a public Patreon post for a classic season 1 adventure style content for my 9-year anniversary month on Twitch. Let people vote on the faction. Went to the store, bought the shit, brought it home, built it, and we're painting head takers right now. And I'm putting out a new formula because one of my most in-demand request videos of all time is the old Gygor Fellhand Gravedigger denim workup I did back in the day. And everyone's like, well, I don't know what to do because I can't get Gravedigger denim. I was like, bro, it's just like gray blue, dog. I don't know. This is
Yep.
And so I'm making a new workup. And I went in the store and paid like $60 for a box of head takers. Which is a shocking price tag to pull my own wallet
6
out.
models, dog.
But, I pull it out and I realize it's like 3 guys on 40mm bases, 3 wolves, big old Fenrir's wolves on big cavalry bases. And I'm like looking at it all laid out. It's actually like a lot of heat. And, it's not quite, I didn't feel quite as remorseful after that as I thought I would. I thought I was going to be super butthurt. And then after I built them and they built really easy, like almost no mold lines whatsoever, like tons of face options, 2 options to build them. It's like, okay, it's really good. Fine. Keep making really good models. That's how you keep getting us.
That's how they get you.
That is how they get you. No, they put out some great looking models sometimes.
Fun fact, if you go to a door in the back of Haven of Gamers, there is a tunnel that will lead to Gamers Haven in Colorado.
Oh, yep.
It's definitely a lizard tunnel.
But you can only see it if your heart is pure. So you're fucked.
That's why I didn't see it.
That's
right. All right, what else do we got? So lots of different. So Games Workshop put out a little. Well, I guess they didn't, but I looked up because I realized it was August, and August means generally there's going to be a preview this month at the end of the month at Nova, and I looked that up, and I was like, huh. So check this out. I'm going to read it verbatim. This is happening on Wednesday, the 27th. So brand new this year, Nova Open and Games Workshop are teaming up to offer an exciting one-of-a-kind convention experience Wednesday evening, taking the place of the traditional reveal. This new, more interactive event will feature early viewing of unreleased models, Q&A with the Games Workshop team, special interactive games and experiences, live art, special store discounts, and more. And then they go on to say you can get your armies prejudged. There's a Space Marine 2 video game team tournament. The live Q&A, trivia and giveaway, celebrity or celebrate charity. And then also under the, but wait, there's more. Free store credit voucher just for showing up. Free beer tastings. You had me a free beer, y'all. Gamers and free beer. Nothing bad could happen.
Free beer tastings? What kind
free beer tastings? I shit you not. Free paint and take zone, open gaming, giant Space Hulk games, vendor hall early access, special Warhammer media bar, plus hangout zones.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Time, man.
What? That sounds shocking.
Dude, do you remember? I don't remember the event name, but we went to an event that was local in Colorado that had like an arcade, and there was like your friend was DJing.
That was Feast of Blaze.
That was Feast of Blaze.
It was Feast? Okay.
I was there.
Yeah, it was sick. That was
Yeah.
It was
awesome.
sick.
That's one of my favorite gaming memories.
We had
ever.
DJ LMT, DJ in the hall, and that which would have been this time period, like this gaming zone. And
Yeah.
then he brought in Chandler brought in a bunch of
It was
local
like
arcade
open
cabinets.
40K. There was like arcade games. I was like, man,
Mhm.
this is the best.
That was like the first year they did it.
Yeah.
Yep,
that
Green
was,
Man Designs was there with all his laser cut stuff.
I had a booth.
that was really good time.
Yep.
I did a charity army too.
That's what this sounds like. This Nova thing. Like that's what I'm conjuring in my head.
Yeah, people
Mhm.
seem to be getting into that now. Like, because if you
Like
want
beer tastings,
if you
all this
want this to
stuff,
move into like real convention territory, you got to start bringing some real convention shit.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty tight.
it was pretty tight. I can't lie. That's a big W.
Um,
That's a big W for that team up. No lie.
If only there was like some sort of bespoke luxury wargaming event that
Yeah.
people could like participate in.
Yeah,
Have you heard anything
Yeah,
about
you
that?
put that
Penny?
article out. It's pretty good. Yeah, we talked about it a few times now. And I guess we're in the ramp up period because the first article came out in Specubits. And
I don't read that site.
we've I think we've sold 3 tickets. So
Oh, nice.
the event caps at 2022 or 24. So
What I heard is I sold 3 tickets.
yeah, I cross referenced my data to make sure it was you. It was you. It's organic purchases. It wasn't like friends or anything like that. So money well spent. Thank you, Rob, for being our marketer on this platform. So
It's my job. I love it.
luxury wargaming event, and based on certain comments from the crowd, like thanks shout out to Kara Quinn and like Seahawks and a couple others. Deferred payment is now an option. Luxury event, all inclusive. Everything's paid for except you need to get your own plane ticket, but literally it's a whole week, booze included, food included, snacks included. We've got Brad Chester running events. We got Mike Casper running events. We've got Goobertown and Casey from eBay Rescues. They're doing a full crazy 2,000 point army builds and dropping it out for classes, taking classes with me as well. Tactics with Brad. So it's very small classroom size. It's at the Black Stallion in Outer Banks, which is the most premium luxury nonsense I've ever fucking seen for a gaming hall.
Isn't there like a chef too or something involved?
Yeah, it's catered. Like it's we're partnered with Bazooka Games, who's bringing GW swag and doing our tables for us. So it's like as dope as possible. It's expensive as shit, no lie. Which is why we have deferred payments now. But the math on it is simple. It's like, how much did your hotels cost at Adepticon this year? And how much did all the food and booze you bought? Like,
Yeah, when you start, I love the first comment on it was, yeah, I just take a cruise for that money. And I was just like, LOL, this is the same thing.
yeah. Except on a cruise, you're not hanging with your boys playing 40K. Like,
yeah. Something else that you guys.
So that's called bourbonandbolters.com. Check it out. You can go on there, check out the venue. There's actually deals too, because some of the rooms have 2 beds. So you get a discount if like you and your boy want to go and you book one of those rooms. So
Why it's asking when is it?
it's roughly in the calendar position that LVO used to occupy in January.
Mid to late January 2026. Also, unrelated note that I don't think you guys quite know is literally like 2 miles from there is all the wild horses that are on well, it's up past Duck. Well, this is past Duck, so this is in Corolla. So just a little bit north is like all the wild crazy ass horses, and you can get Couture to go out there because you have to have a 4-wheel drive vehicle to go in. The road ends and you go into the sand, and then it's like miles. There's camp zones and stuff, but you can get tours and see all the wild horses. It's actually pretty sick.
I love horses.
Yeah. Well, I know you do. All right, so that was a quick little pivot into that. Gen Con reveal. So there was definitely some Gundam miniatures for Gundam Assemble. I actually seen them together, like in front of me. They've made their way over this way, and they're sick. They go together super easy. Very cool stuff, and I definitely think we're going to see a lot more of that as it starts to kind of filter through and go into stores and become a little bit more mainstream, I would say. we're definitely spoiled with choices as far as miniature games go these days. Mantic showed off their Halo ODST box set. So if you're looking to, if you enjoyed that game and wanted to get into some, drop trooper fun, that looks super sick. So definitely check that out. It's going to be dropping in October. It's on pre-order right now. We talked about combat patrols. On the card side of things, spoilers started coming out for the Magic the Gathering Spider-Man set, which is going to be bananas. They previewed the first Infinity Gem to be made into a Magic card, and it's going to have like a cosmic foil edition of the Soul Gem. Is the first one, and of course the promo is Thanos holding the gem, or holding the gauntlet with the the pinky gem is the Soul Gem. And well, there's going to be more Marvel sets, so there's going to be more of these gems. And it's if you thought the One Ring was wild, these Soul Gems are going to be pretty nuts too, with the Cosmic Edition foil. So going to be a lot of different ways to get Spider-Man Magic cards if you're really into that. Spoiler alert, I'm really into that. I love Spider-Man. I'm gonna get a little crazy, but that's okay. There's action figures that you can buy through promotion with Amazon and Walmart, even, where it comes with a unique card. There's gonna be the showcase, where it's basically 9 cards together or 6 cards together to form like a little picture, but they're available as, that's basically how you buy it. It's sick. All sorts of different stuff. So really excited about that. We also saw from AMG, if you're in a Marvel Crisis Protocol, they accidentally put some new painted miniatures in their case at Gen Con, and that included Red Hulk, the leader, and also the sensational She-Hulk, who's kind of running along, taking off her lawyer gear, and she's got the uniform on underneath it, and her briefcase is spilling open. There's papers going everywhere, kind of like the quick change Superman kind of deal. No clue when those are out, because they published the roadmap in early 2026 and they're not on it. But they also had painted pictures of some of the miniatures that were on the roadmap that we hadn't seen painted yet, like Moondragon and Adam Warlock, Quasar. Trying to think who else. Multiple Man. They didn't have Jubilee though, which was a little disappointing, because I was kind of looking forward to that one. I think that was it. There might have been a few more, but we published the pictures out there. Definitely check it out. It's very cool stuff. And Games Workshop finally put out the Horus Heresy Legacies document. It's 207 pages, but you can still play with all of your Horus Heresy miniatures that you might have painted up. Remember, they said this is all going to be match play legal, so technically they're still in play. It came out a little late. The conspiracy theorist in me just kind of says, hey, maybe this was just like a last minute thing, just to satiate people that might have been a little grumpy about it when the leaks came out, and there was pretty big uproar about it, because nobody likes to be told that they can't play with their miniatures anymore. And the point I wanted to make about all this was, good on them for doing it, or whatever team did it. But if they can do it for Horus Heresy, why can they not do it for 40K? And that's the standard we have now. So that's the valuation we have, that there was an uproar from a specific community for a specific game system under the Games Workshop umbrella, and they caved, and they gave them their rules that are still match play legal. There is no reason that cannot happen in 40K, and all of that stuff they got Thanos snapped over the past 2 years could be brought back into Warhammer 40K.
Make a lot of people happy and get some goodwill.
I think Games Workshop is running very, very low on goodwill and very high on their own supply. But again, what do we know? They keep making money hand over fist. But where's the money coming from? It's always the money trail, y'all. So that's all the big stuff that I'm tracking for this week, at least. I hope judging by what Nova's got going on, I hope there's something even wilder planned for LVO, because definitely looking forward to if this is going to become a what would you call that, like a more of an experience sort of thing. And I do like the Adam and Eddie back are back doing the, it seems like they're doing live previews instead of the pre-recorded stuff. They were always my favorite, and I think they have a great chemistry together, and I definitely encourage Games Workshop to keep that going.
Facts. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about our show title. I think I made it like the future is Grimdark, but it's actually the actual future of tabletop. I made it a little clickbaity for you guys. And we're back. The actual future of tabletop wargaming, especially Warhammer 40K. These were our shelved show notes from July 23rd. So I'm just gonna hit the first big section. Big questions and philosophical tangents. Mike, is Warhammer 40K a strategy game with lore, or a lore experience with some dice rolling attached? Where do you land on that debate?
Right now, it is a lore experience with dice attached, but it didn't start out that way. So I'd say the lore has taken over everything now. So it used to be just a fun dice game, but I think it has evolved, and in some ways for the better, and some ways for the worse. But one thing that I would say is, folks complain that certain things, certain mechanisms or whatever, are not authentic or real, or they're more cinematic or whatever. What it is not is a war game simulation, right? So it is a game, and if you want a simulation, play something like Kriegspiel or something like that. But it's like, I wish the lore. Well, when I started back in third or whatever, I kept getting massacred because I believed in the lore. You know what I mean? I would read about the Grey Knights and everything, and I was just like, especially in fourth, I would put them on the table, and they're going up against demons and chaos and just getting rolled. And I was just like, man, I just don't understand. Like, they're supposed to be, um, oh, I guess I'm coming in soft. I don't know. Whatever.
You sound fine.
All right. But yeah, it's like, I just don't. I would believe in the lore, and would believe that my little guys could do what the lore said they could do, and that was never the case.
Yeah, you have an interesting perspective on it, which is like kind of it slices it up like almost to like a third answer. Where is it a strategy game with some lore mixed in, or is this a lore experience with some dice mixed in? Realistically, it is a strategy game, right? It has a ton of rules, and I would say the lore has developed a lot since we were playing these games you were talking about. So we had very light lore experience back in the day, and it was mostly in our imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We were imagining the lore, and I feel like at different time periods throughout the game system, it's been more or less, and I'd still say it's firmly a strategy game with a ton of lore baked in. But I do really agree with your position on. But it's not a war game simulator.
No,
Like,
and it never has been, and never will be. I don't think it should be. That's the thing. Like, and here's the thing: is like I used to play, at Gen Con and everything, these like war game simulations, the old Avalon Hill games and stuff like that. And I just don't have time for that anymore. Like, no one does.
No one got time.
Like, you're gonna set up a Red Storm Rising scenario, or a Reforger 88 scenario or something like that, and play it over the course of a weekend. We used to do that. Like, that was, and trace weather patterns and all this different stuff. And it's like, no one's got time for that. Like, roll your dice, make your saves. It's all good.
Rob, do you think the hobby is becoming more about collecting, painting than actually playing? Has that model become the message?
I think for a lot of people, that's all they have. That's what they have time to interact with, because keeping up with the actual playing, I might have said it like last week or the week before. Games Workshop isn't competing for our dollars anymore. They're actually competing for our time.
You did say that. It
And
was a really good argument you made. They keep us in their ecosystem now, not
right.
just with one thing, which it used to just be one thing. Now they keep us in their ecosystem with dozens of things.
Yeah, and I think it's very easy to just do that, or just read a Black Library book, or listen to a
Space
audio
Marine
book,
2,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
or video game.
Kill Team, Warcry, mobile app.
I think eventually people transition into the figure thing. Not everybody makes the jump to playing, but I think a lot more people have taken the jump back from playing to just hobbying in 10th edition.
It's crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is another one like with Mike's previous. It's like weird because we definitely, on paper, provable, have more players than ever in the history of the game. But
Hmm.
that's just probably unrelated. It doesn't mean correlation doesn't always equal causation, right? Like it's probably also true that more people than ever before are pulling out of playing and moving back toward painting and collecting because of time. So it just shows you that it has just become bigger than it's ever been before. LVO had 1,000 players in round one. It's crazy. But we definitely have a lot more people entering the hobby every day who just
Hmm.
want a hobby.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so it's
Yes.
that's, yeah. So it's like kind of it's like a weird duality of like, of truths.
Like
Um,
honestly, I would love to see them put out a different kind of a skirmish game. Not really combat patrol, but something about that size. Then I would see. Well, I would definitely have time to play more. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think that's a huge missed opportunity for them. But I also think before they go and put out something that's half cooked and half baked,
Mm-hmm.
they need to make sure it's tight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and nothing they have done lately has been tight. So I caution that. I think that's a knee jerk reaction.
Well,
Um,
it's like Kill Team is fun, but Kill Team is almost too small. You know what I mean? It's like squad based,
It's tough
so it's
once you've
almost a
tasted
little bit
this
too small.
the sweet nectar of putting your
mhm.
2,000 point army down.
Yeah,
It's hard.
and that is great, but I just don't. I was talking to my buddy Dave, and I was just like, I just don't see it that at the end of a really rough week, heading down to throw down 2,000 points on a table to just get kicked in the nuts because I don't have the time to like learn everyone's different stratagems.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm down for 1,000 points though.
I am down for 1,000 points,
A
and
lot of yeah, I've seen a lot of Crusade.
yeah, Crusade is. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Crusade.
Yeah,
On
which is why we're doing a big 6 day or 5 day crusade tournament at our
Mhm.
our luxury wargamers retreat because people are sleeping on it. And even Brad Chester, who was on this podcast, says that's like what he is a who's on the Lorecast. He's like he wants to do that, and he's one of those competitive people in the world.
yeah, he literally just won the Salt GT over the weekend.
Yeah, and he's
Salt
like
City, excuse me.
he wants to be involved in Crusade. He wants to cosplay. He wants to be involved in stuff like that with other people like Mike Haspel who are like legendary, you know, storytellers, right? Like it's like he's like, say less, I want in more than anything.
Hmm.
You guys are having so much fun. Which brings me to this next question. I want to send this one back to Mike. I kind of know. I think I know his answer. If you had to explain to a non-gamer why people spend hundreds of hours painting plastic soldiers from a Grimdark galaxy, what would you say?
It's the potential. It's you're not. First of all, you're not playing games. You're playing memories, but people haven't figured that out yet, and you usually don't figure it out until it's usually too late. But that goes for everything, not just 40K, but all gaming. Right? Is when you think back, you might remember a really crappy game, right? But
Hmm.
you might not even remember whole games, but you remember that one time that your last dude with a pistol shot a hive tyrant in the eye and took his last wound. You know what I mean?
I
It's
remember
like,
2004 Atlanta GT. My great uncle Cleveland gets summoned. Back when you had to roll that shit. He gets charged
Yeah.
by a unit of fucking assault marines who had exactly 6 attacks between them. 6 hits, 6 wounds, and I failed all 6 of my saves, and he died.
oh
I have
no.
never forgotten that.
Yeah, but it's like you're creating memories, and then on top of that, it's about potential. And the reason I say it's about potential is if I were like I'm not that active in the game right now, right? But if I were going to break up how much time I spent assembling models, painting models, playing the game, or scheming trumps everything else.
Mm-hmm.
How many hours I spend on Army Builder tweaking, like, oh, if this guy takes a pistol, I can make it exactly 2,000
Yep.
points. You know what I mean? And it's about the potential. It's about the this is going to be a good time. It's going to be the
Potential.
potential of what's going to happen, and I think that's what drives everything, right? Is it's like because I don't know about everybody else, but when I'm assembling models, I'm not thinking about the model. I'm usually got something on in the background, like an audio book or something, and I'm just putting it together. Painting takes a little bit more attention. Obviously, playing takes a lot more attention. But what consumes all my attention is sitting with the codex and a list and scheming.
Mm-hmm. Well said,
It's
brother.
true.
Rob, is there such a thing as too cinematic in wargame design, or should the rules always bend to serve the narrative?
I mean, they're like, how do you represent that? Because like a space marine spits poison and has, multiple organs and redundancies, and at that point it's just going to slow down the game to the point, that it was like second edition or first edition, where first
Yeah, I
edition
think
was
the question
basically
is
like,
like, is it okay that the game is stylized, right? Like, I feel like that's like the
I,
spirit of that, right? Like,
yeah, I think to a point, like you have to, especially now, you have to make it to a point where it's digestible, but also fun and engaging. And that's kind of where I feel like Tense has stumbled a bit. But it is doable, and you definitely have to
yeah,
keep it in mind.
10th is a great example of that because it's not like actually a bad system.
No,
It's possibly finally gone one step into too stylized. Right?
yeah, I would make that argument. Yeah.
Like it, which okay, and that's why we get new additions. But yeah, like there, stylization and simplicity baked into for the sake of gameplay
Hmm.
over narrative makes a lot of sense. We're doing good here. Let's get through this last one.
Yeah.
Uh, Mike, are we entering an era where competitive balance might start killing faction flavor, or are designers finally learning how to do both well?
I don't think they're learning how to do both well, and
Mm.
I almost would want to see, and we're almost there now with like the Crusade format and the oh, what do they call it again? The lists that come out every twice a year or once a year. The
Balanced status
season,
slate.
the seasons. The
Oh, oh,
you know what I'm talking about? Like
the
Chapter proof.
uh,
Chapter proof.
the mission
chapter
decks.
approved. I'm
Yeah.
like, my brain's stopped working. But I almost want to see like a complete, almost a schism, right? Like, hey, if you're going to play competitive format, it's different. It's completely different, and it's
Hmm.
like, and that way you can strip all the all the flavor out of it and just make it more balanced, more one to one,
They have
right?
made a
But
lot
it's
of
like,
decisions, to your point, since 10 started, specifically, that did on paper look super balanced, super smart.
mm-hmm,
Like especially
mm-hmm,
with Space Marines. Hey, it doesn't matter. Space Marines or like Chaos. Like, for example, I play Pack Bound Zealots. Well, that's
Hmm.
straight up word bearers.
mm-hmm,
And it would have been word bearers before, right? It is the demons, the possessed, all that. It's word bearers.
mm-hmm,
And so by removing, and they have a Night Lords attachment, but it's not Night Lords, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? But they have a Salamander attachment, it's not Salamanders. It's like literally you can do all this stuff now without committing to an identity, which is dope on paper. And access is huge and broad. Like it removes a lot of bottlenecking to getting your models on the table, which I totally am behind. Which is a 300, it's a 180-degree flip from GW used to have a stance that quite literally, and this is a quote, red Marines are Blood Angels and blue Marines are Ultramarines. Like that's like
Hmm.
at the game, that's facts at the game store. Like that's what it is.
yeah,
And so,
And why it's like saying they already have a narrative modes in Crusade, but everyone wants to play match play.
yeah,
And that's I agree with that with what he said, but I'm like, but match play still uses the same rules as the other modes. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you
Mhm.
wanted it to be like pure balance or whatever, you almost have to separate it from the other things that you have to make it like its own thing.
yeah.
Otherwise, it'll never be balanced.
And this is like an old
Competitive.
discussion we've had because he's like every casual wants a 2K matchup, and it's like it's true. It's like
Yeah.
because we literally have the major leagues and the minor leagues, and in our lore, in our zeitgeist, like one is better than the other. Period. So we all
Mhm.
want to do the one that's better, even if we're not cut out for it. And so it would be dope, as Mike said, if they were just two different, literally two different things. Because right now they're not. They are
Right.
using the same models, the same rules, the same data sheets, like two different things. That would be really sick, actually, to see them develop that.
But it's twice the work, and it's
Mhm.
like it's also twice the money
Mhm.
if they think about that, right? Because it's
All
like, hey,
right, yeah, they're all about that,
Mhm.
like,
making that money.
hey, what are we doing here? Oh, these, because you'd have a whole slew of rules that would be completely different.
I'm into it, but that's our time tonight. Good.
Yep.
We were gonna finally talk about this subject a little bit. Of course, anyone listening to this podcast, lots of things we didn't go over. Feel free to hit us up on any platform with any more insight, DMs, anything. We love hearing from you guys at all times. Um, Mike, you got anything dope for us?
My God, it's full of stars.
I do not know that one.
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Oh gosh.
Oh, is
What a
that
classic.
2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, I just got my sci-fi nerd card revoked.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's not from the 80s. It predates it. So it's not in the ever loop cycle that it's been, rewashed and recycled
Oh yeah.
for all eternity.
And one more comment on the previous step. Like, I agree with this so much from Wyatt in the chat. He says, I mean, stop making these failing side games. And there's your budget right there. It's like,
Mhm.
Bro.
bro,
The
bro,
amount of resources it's taken away
bro.
from stocking 40K is I have a whole editorial written ready to publish about this. And
Was just talking
shows
about it
yeah,
because I'm listing all my Titanicus and Legions Imperialis stuff, and I mean I was hyped for Legions Imperialis.
did I talk about how that game's basically dead?
Yeah,
Yeah,
multiple times.
yeah,
No, like how they're the same thing happened with Titanicus. Like they put out. Did I say that? Did I
Mhm.
break that down?
yeah. You
Yeah,
did. You
we
talked.
did.
We
Okay.
talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Okay. I forget what I talk about where because
yeah.
have to be
Yeah,
omnipresent.
well said, Wyatt. Thank you, Rob. You want to take us out here?
So that's it for this one. Thanks to everybody for watching. Make sure to head on over to thelongwar.net for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today.